So I had to remake my game. This is me speeding it up to try to catch up with the progress that I already made in the game. I kind of messed up. So I do consider this still the first playthrough. Um, I just couldn't unlock all three of the characters like in the timely fashion that I needed it to be. Okay, friends, address, a firelit doorway. Denzel lives in the fire bright doorway. You? Here? How? Denzel only has one bed, but he can offer me a straw mattress in the smithy. It's smoky, but the warmth is very welcome. It's 2 winter, 2 lantern, and a heart. Denzel pauses at the door as I wish him good night. Son will be back, he observes. Always do used to say that in the war, didn't we? The words linger as he climbs up the passage. The lamp flame flickers, red, gold, and red. I'm always welcome at Denzel's smithy. Denzel rarely works for free, but he won't take payments. Denzel watches with great interest as I dry the books in the warmth of his forge fire. He provides wads of cotton to put between the pages, but otherwise he keeps his distance. He is weary of the written word. I'm beginning to suspect he cannot read. I do not expect he will ever tell me. Because it's not my business, for real, for real. Like, be thankful he gave me a place to stay. So the model book is different than the last one I had, which was the lantern base. But this is a forge playthrough, so. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the postmistress. Break my 10 shillings down. I'm gonna try to break this down even further. Okay, try to get into the bar. Well, the inn. Got a round for everyone, and another, and one more for luck. Alright, so this is kind of like one of the core problems with my last playthrough with Mrs. and Mr. Kelly. I couldn't get in there at all. Like, at all. Like, she was so essential to opening a lot of doors. And I didn't have access with the playthrough I was going through. So we're gonna speed this up, try and get some assistance. Then we'll try to open a tidal flats. That requires 2 moon and 2 winter. Then the bridge. And that's lantern and forge and sky. Trying to speed run through this. Alright, now that we have Denzel. Can't do anything with Denzel, so I'm gonna I don't know, try to buy some help. I at least need Knock and Lantern and Sky for the Reverend. Alright, the bridge is unlocked, and we got an unusual nun on the pilgrimage. Yeah, she has Knock, and I need Knock for the Reverend. Okay, so she needs a Florin. Hopefully I can hire her now. At this point, this is where I'm just kind of like trying to figure out the skill tree. That's where you get most of your skill cards. And for me, figuring out how to maneuver through the skill tree was the hardest part about the game. Um, it's kind of a learning curve because originally in the Cultist Simulator, you would have cards like your health card, your think card, your reason cards, and that was like it. Like you would stack them up to about 4 each, and that was it. So learning how to use the carding system and Book of Hours has been quite interesting to say the least. So at this point, I'm trying to get the Reverend so that I can be introduced to Miss Killy, Mrs. and Mr. Killy, and finally like be able to use them and access them. Um, so Miss Killy is apparently a really rich viscountess who ended up with her husband, Mr. Killy. And Mr. Killy is he works at the morgue. So Miss Killy is like a midwife. She brings babies into the world, and Mr. Killy obviously helps souls exit the world. Now that I have them, I feel comfortable going to the Hush House. So any place that you reside in the start of the game, you don't have to use any money to access those characters. which helps a lot. I didn't really get that far on my original playthrough, minus the first video posted because of my lack of access to Miss Killy, Mrs. and Mr. Killy, and this playthrough, I wanted that to be like a priority because it's hard to progress without them. You can use the sweet bones to hire help for people who are just passing through and staying in the lodge upstairs, but it's also like a benefit to take advantage of the actual villagers. So I was taking advantage of the rest of the evening, using up the rest of my cards to make money. So now we're in the actual Hush House. I have a few books that you have to consider in order to discover what kind of books they are, if you can even read them. I can't do this because I don't have soul cards. It is the evening, so they're gonna come back. I'm just gonna try to do some redecorating if I can. Okay, so it's a new day, so I have all of my cards back, all of my soul cards back. Hopefully I can try to progress within the house. So I'll need assistance to actually open up rooms in the house. Logically, I'm going to try to get Denzel to open up the house for assistance because it's free for one. At the cost of just like a soul card, that's not a problem. So I'm going to talk to Denzel about the weather, try to boost his attributes so that I can actually see if he can open this for me and start opening up some books if I can. Some books are to be tasted. Okay, books from this period are almost never contaminated. So I'm gonna be careful when opening up books because I don't want to get I don't want to get anything or any type of sickness. Alright, we're gonna use Denzel to open up this room. Okay, we got our first book done. And I don't think this is a book, this is an actual film. So I guess I have to find a room that allows you to that allows you to actually watch the film. So I like to use the soul cards wisely because like I don't want to use my cards that only have one attribute. The chore, however, has two, so I don't mind using those. Okay, so that has 4, mystery 4, winter. So the challenge is to have at least 4 winter. And I guess the tally prices are like how it wasn't Cultist Simulator with the spindles. I think that's what they were called. The occult currency. Try to open up one more book before this room gets open if I can. So that needs lantern and nectar. So I'm going to use a card that doesn't have any of that, which is metal. Okay, these are rarely contaminated as well. This room is done. The Hissing Key, an account of the ascent of the hour called the Mother of Ants by the boss scholar Mech of the Theban branch of the House of, how do you say it? Leith. So it's written in Greek. The librarian reads Greek, but don't assume others can. So far, I don't think any of these books have any contaminations. I guess the only problem I would have is actually meeting those skill challenges. So I'm going to pour out some of this wine. The candle has attributes. I don't know if you can use those to actually open the books or not. I'm just checking around to see if anything else can help with opening the books. So I need 2 grill and 2 sky here. I'm pretty sure Miss Killy is grill. Okay, we finally got Miss Killy. You see how like far I could have gotten in the first game. Literally nowhere. So I kind of needed her, which is why I restarted. So I'm gonna work to make some money, especially since I have to pay for the service of the other villagers. So a lot of the cuts that you see are going to be me just saving any progress that I make, because it's so easy to make mistakes in the game. I feel like it's a lot more efficient if you just like save often and then go back and reload. Since it's my first playthrough, I want to make sure that, you know, I save often just so I can make a lot of mistakes and learn what I can. So I'm going to store like the bigger numbers up top so that, you know, I can keep the ones that are achievable with me. Like that's only 4 winter, so, but the other ones being 8 and up, I literally only got 1 room open. I can't do that. So I got some tea so that I can serve to people to try to boost their attributes. I already poured out some of the wine. I don't want to use too much, or if I do, like just have them already brewed and ready to go for when I actually need to give them to the assistants when they come to the house. Okay, I'm done with working. Brought me enough to have 2 shillings. I'm gonna try not to use the crown. Okay, it's a new day. So hopefully I can get more rooms open and open more books, or at least like catalog them. Okay, so these are only rarely contaminated. Now we have the weather. This is obviously Grail, I think. A compilation of quasi-Rosicrucian allegories, supposedly by Robert Flood. This is in the original Latin. The True History of Valentine de Wolff, written in the third person by Valentine de Wolff, rarely coherent, though it includes some useful footnotes on falconry and esoteric veterinary medicine. And this is 6 Sky. The Humors of a Gentleman, Samuel Savage's satirical comedy on the intrigues of the ailing, both cunning, John's Sonia, his mistress, Maybelline, her lover Leo, and the upstart Corvino. That is 4 Sky. But these names are familiar. Like, this book was originally in Cultist Simulator. A lot of these books are from Cultist Simulator, I'm seeing. Or, well, at least it's a lot of callbacks. I might do a Cultist Simulator run, but that game is... the game is intense, okay? I beat it the one time and I was like, over the moon. But it is a good game. I like games like this that are more like lore or puzzle based. I've been gravitating more towards those. Which is a lot different than like what I was like playing and posting before. But like, you don't want to be stressed out all the time. It's like a good kind of stress. Like a brain stress. I'm all for it. A Shape and Smoke, Ambrose Westcott's exposition on tobacco blending and the oracles of the pipe. Okay. It was just funny because like you read a whole book on it. I think this wood made it even more wild. That was like an 8 forge. That's in their evasions. Father Stanislav. I see the passage between them. Those are the manses, no long named hours. Unusually, Father John has written this book in Hushin, where he says especially special secrecy. So this is a level 14 book, like a level 14 knock, and it has a language on there. So this one's gonna be kind of like difficult. From Cultist Simulator, you would have to talk to visitors or find books or find ways to actually read the languages, or else you were never going to read that book. So that's got me on edge a little. I don't know how I'm gonna get a level 14 book, but I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna let this day go by and just finish working. I feel like I got a lot accomplished. I think I'm gonna focus up on rooms and books, but we're gonna just work the rest of this day so I can make some money to open up a lot more rooms. So health has the nectar symbol, and the next room is lantern and nectar. The wine also has that as well. So we're just gonna chill for the rest of this day. So I'm going to Reverend Timothy. Let's see, he needs a whisk. So we're gonna boost up the Reverend, give him some dandelion wine. It's not clear whether Claude, who was identified only by initials, was in fact an initiate of the Oblivate Order of Immortal Adepts. He wrote in the 16th century after the order, if he is to be believed, had passed the height of its power. This cover reminds me of the Suppression Brew from Cultist Simulator. So this book is written in Latin. It has 6 winter challenge. I'm going to choose to use my Chore here just because of the nectar. We'll see if that works for the Reverend. And will he do it? Yes, he will. There's another room opened. Chilling by Abydos, a play dealing with the 9-year sojourn of a snow goddess in the Thracian city of Abydos by Apollo Fireweaver, in English, published in 18... I can't really see. Reportedly from an older Greek text. The Beekeeper's End, dialogues with bees and uses for honey, as erratically recorded by Ricardo Milagro, gardener of Hush House in Musgrave's time. And that is 8. Now those are getting up there, so... Operations of a Certain Finality, subtitled The Hammer's Sondering, the work of an anonymous adept who violently despised the invisible seraphim. The Library of the Watchman's Tree in Alexandria. Well, that is 8 winter challenge. We're getting up there with those challenges. That the top floor is looking kind of intense. So the long tower needs 3 lantern and 3 winter. So I'm gonna work the rest of this day off. This is gonna be basically the standard for making money, because I know how Cultist Simulator is. And Cultist Simulator, if you didn't make money or have money, then you would randomly die, like whether it was from starvation or for some other reason. The game was out to get you. a reminder from St. Rowan's Trust that I haven't yet replied to them. I just got here.